we're building up to the point where we can start creating a monophonic synthesizer and get some interesting stuff. Before we do that, however, we need to talk about summing, panning, and blending of signals. Say I've got my oscillator here, and I want to add a noise signal. Well, noise doesn't require anything to turn on, so I should just be able to connect it up directly to this multiply 0 point. Let's hear what that sounds like. Not ideal. What's going on with that is that effectively this multiply object and the addition object of plus with tilde will sum two signals that are received into the same hot inlet. This means that I'm hearing noise and triangle at the same time coming through, and it's not great. Because it's summing, the output could be above the range of -1 to +1, which means we would get clipping and distortion, and it would just be kind of bad. So what we need to do is to create a little bit of magic to balance the signals. If I have my triangle wave coming through, I want to hear that more than I do the noise signal. So I could easily put a gain object here and then put a gain object under noise, then send them to the envelope and do that. But we could do some other stuff as well. What I'm going to do is move all of this ADSR over. I'm going to copy that sustain because that has that range of 0 to 1. And we're going to give this a new name. Let's call it blend. Okay. So what this blend is going to do is probably my single favorite trick in Max. I'm going to set it so that as the triangle wave is quieter, the noise will be louder, and vice versa. Let's move that over. To do this, what I'm going to do is to create a couple multiply tilde objects before it gets summed. Duplicate. There we go. Now, I'm going to take the output of blend and send that to noise. And send noise there. Connect triangle. But before I send it to the triangle, what I'm going to do is use exclamation minus, which does subtract objects inlets reversed. Then I'm going to give it the argument of 1 point. Connect it up here. What this means is that instead of doing whatever's coming in from blend minus 1, which would give us something between -1 and 0, it's going to take 1 and subtract whatever's coming in from blend, which will give us a range of 0 to 1. I can demonstrate that by adding a couple of messages. So here's the reverse and here's regular. You'll notice that at 0.5, they're both equal. All the way up at 1, whatever's coming out of this knob is 100%. All the way down at 0, what goes through the reversed inlet subtraction is all the way at 1. This is just a really, really, really basic linear panning trick that you will use constantly. Effectively, what I'm doing is I'm panning between two signals, sending the result out, and then that goes to gain. So let's hear that in action. Super, super useful. This trick, you only need a couple of objects, a couple of multipliers, and that exclamation point minus 1 point. That will give you the ability to fade between two things using linear fading. It is the most useful thing you will learn in Max at this point.